What's up? I'm Ayla.
Hi, I'm Beth Ann.
And this is Let's Talk BL, a Boys Love podcast.
Welcome back to the podcast. It's Sunday, Series Sunday, take 2. So if we are slightly drunk, it's because we recorded Series Sunday version 1.
We recorded an hour and a half's worth of Series Sunday version 1. And then we realized that our microphones were not turned on, which, you might have realized is a theme in Let's Talk BL Season 3. My bad.
Truly, we had a whole conversation about mic issues.
Not like 10 minutes before this.
Yes.
Oh, Lord have mercy. But Series Sunday means it's the day of the week where we need alcohol to get through BL.
We need alcohol to get through talking about the BL, because also, like, if you as a listener aren't drinking while you're listening to us,
I feel like a lot of people listen while they're on their way to work. So, like, maybe don't drink while you're driving to work.
True.
I actually don't advocate that.
Maybe we're more entertaining when we're drunk.
You tell us. Anyways.
We have gotten some compliments about how the addition of the drinking is fun.
Oh.
Shout out to Robbie. Go follow Hey It's Robbie.
Yes.
Truly, his drunk reaction to Ken Porsche was why we decided to do this, because, we spiced up season 3 because we are spicing up Let's Talk BL. Ayla is going to voluntarily watch Big Dragon.
I am. I must. I have to. And you all should be voluntarily watching Big Dragon. The first episode is already out. It came out yesterday. If you are watching this as of the day of release,
join us.
Go watch it.
All of our international PR push that we're doing.
International fan Twitter spaces. We've got IG lives going. We are so excited about this show, but this is not the show we're talking about today.
No. However, we are talking about a Star Hunter show. And y'all, who would have ever thought we'd be here? I certainly didn't, because when I first watched this show, I watched it for Kim Cop and Bankbo.
Right.
And I fast forwarded through some of it. And I wouldn't say I hate watched it. I tolerated watched it.
I didn't watch it live, and it felt to me as though you were hate watching it.
I don't hate anything. I just don't have that like much energy to hate things. And you watched episode 12 with me.
I did while it was airing. Like, I watched,
and we had joked about doing a series Sunday about the show without you having watched the show,
right. and then you had to like explain it to me or something. Yeah,
but we added alcohol, and you had your God awakening.
I found out too late, truly too late. I found out that God is the only one for me.
And as we're waiting for shows to end, and as shows have just ended, we throw in some oldies but goodies, and here we are, Gen Y season 2.
Oh, it's happening.
You could have never guessed.
Oh, it's happening, my friends.
Truly. Okay, let's get to the nuts and bolts, because we have a lot to say and so little time.
I mean, technically, we have all the time we want. It's our podcast.
Truly. It's from our bestie, Star Hunter.
Shout out Star Hunter. We heart you.
It came out in March of 2022.
Yes, it did. Not that much of an oldie.
When did Gen Y season 1 end?
I don't know, but we did Gen Y season 1 literally a year ago to like a year ago and a couple days ago.
Yeah.
So a while ago. And it had been out for a hot minute. Actually, hadn't it just ended when you were living in Atlantic City? It had like just ended.
Yes.
Because so when was that?
Didn't we watch that together?
Yeah.
It was in the summer.
Right.
I only lived in AC for 4 months.
It wasn't the summer.
In the shoebox.
In the shoebox, because was it summer by then? Because I guess I visited you twice in Jersey. Oh my God, I'm such a good friend.
You are a good friend. You visited me once in Margate, and then the second time in my shoebox in AC.
Margate was definitely February, because it was right after I got my second vax. Anyways, Gen Y season 1 was like a while ago.
I have moved a lot in adulthood. Okay, nuts and bolts. Star Hunter, March 2022. It's on YouTube with no paywall.
No paywall.
It's on iQIYI if you have that Kin Porsche subscription or Love in the Air subscription.
Or Big Dragon subscription.
or I Long Night subscription.
Oh my god.
There's so many shows. Speaking of I Long Night, the director also directed I Long Night and La Cuisine.
And La Cuisine.
If you have not watched La Cuisine, go to Gaga Ooh La La and watch La Cuisine.
Oh my god, it's so good.
Speaking of La Cuisine,
our sweet friend Mick is in La Cuisine, and he goes to Chulo and Corn.
Stay tuned for the vlog.
Stay tuned for that vlog. Hashtag spoiler. Someone in the BL world makes an appearance. I wonder who it could be.
Okay. It's not Poohin. He was already gone for the day.
Yeah, Mick tried that one for us.
Okay. It stars as Mark, Kimmin, Kit, played by Copter, the ethereal, wonderful Copter. I can't explain to you how wonderful Copter is.
Copter is a gem of a human being.
Have we told this story on the podcast?
I don't think so. I think that we've only told this on an Instagram live.
Okay,
yeah.
let me tell this story real quick because it's truly the funniest thing you'll ever experience. When we met Copter, which those words make no sense to me.
It makes negative sense.
I have loved Copter from the day that I met Copter on the screen, and I was like, Ayla, he drinks you drunk. Like,
this is how you originally tried to get me into BL.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was like, you need to know about Copter. They're the most wonderful, amazing human being. So we had finished the Element interview. We were at Hunter Village.
By the way, if the words "we met Copter" don't make sense, this story you're about to hear makes negative sense. We tell each other this story frequently because I think we're both like, that was real. Like, you experienced that too, right? Like, so yeah.
Copter fully broke us. So they had come to the doorway.
They were there. Okay, let's start with Kimmin and Copter were actually at Hunter Village the day we were at Hunter Village.
Before the interview because they walked through. They were doing a brand thing.
Yes.
And then we were like, Kimmin fully made eye contact with us, and we're like,
Kimmin was hardcore trolling us the whole time. Like, he knew exactly what he was doing, and he thought it was hilarious.
Copter was like, must not engage. And then after the Element interview, Copter comes to the doorway. And we see Copter.
And Kimmin has already left because the Kim Cop brand deal has already ended. Like, they finished their thing.
So Copter's standing at the doorway, and we're like, I was like, we're gonna make this happen. I was like,
no,
can we
here's
get
what
a photo
doesn't make
with
sense.
you?
Copter was
waiting
for us.
It makes no sense.
Those words, I get it, don't make sense.
So I'm like, can we take a photo with you?
Oh no, wait. No. That's being generous. What happened was, and I'm drunk enough to admit to this. Actually, I admit to this even if I wasn't drinking. What happened was, we both went.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Guys, would it be okay? Can we
fully
take a picture with you?
Yeah.
That was the voice level.
And
and the heavy breathing. Yeah.
And in Hunter Village, you have a hallway before you get to the studio we were in, and it's a dark hallway. And so we were like, Copter, can we take a photo with you?
And we walk up to the door and we're like,
we corner them in this doorway because we're like, we're not gonna make them move.
And they're the sweetest.
And Copter fully
world.
Goes, do you guys want to go into where the light is?
So we start to take the picture in the hallway, and then Copter's like, Copter, by the way, with the English,
was like, do you want to go into the studio? And we were like, yeah. They were deign to make Copter move. I was not about to be like, hey, Copter.
And their whole reasoning, they were like, the lighting, and we were like,
yeah. Fully broke our brains. Copter, wonderful.
And then Copter stood around and talked to us.
Stan Copter. Makes no sense.
It was wild. They were so nice. It was perfect.
Apparently Baz was also in Hunter Village at the time.
We never saw Baz, and that's a really good thing because I would have dropped dead. I would have dropped dead.
Okay.
And someone would have had to cart my body out of MBK. No, bury me in MBK, actually.
Bury me. I want a t-shirt that says bury me in MBK. Okay. This is why we don't pregame series because this is already chaotic. Okay. YU, played by Baz. Tanu, affectionately known as Thanos, and you'll find out why soon. Played by Dunn.
Affectionately known as no one, because why?
Probably related to O. Pak, played by Bank, formerly known as Bank, now known as Tora.
No.
The artist formerly known as Bank.
No. He's Bank in the streets, Tora in the sheets. I thought we'd been over this.
Go watch that. Go watch the Chris Brown Take You Down cover. You'll understand why. Tong, played by Bonus.
An actual Earth Angel.
Tanajek. DC Sook.
An actual Earth Angel, if I've ever seen
the love
one.
of my life. No one has ever stolen my heart.
I feel like Bonus if Tanajek. This was a vlog and I could put memes over it, I would start playing the like "No One Compares to You" song.
Bonus Tanajek, I love you.
Thanks for support.
Thanks for support, my collective. I love him so much. You don't even understand why.
Bonus genuinely might be my favorite person in life. Bonus is a really good
Not
person.
True. God will. You guys, you don't even understand.
Bonus is a really good person. Bonus is a really good actor, and we're gonna get to that. But before we get to that, before we get to the blessing that is Bonus on screen, let's start with the synopsis.
You read this? Okay, the first time we read the synopsis, we died laughing. I probably still will die laughing.
I think I can do it this time.
Okay.
It was because last time it caught me off guard.
Every time we interacted with celebrities in Thailand, we're like, yeah, we got this. Don't got this.
Okay. The feeling of disappointment that arose with all the characters in Gen Y the series SS1 will be solved.
No, it won't.
Especially the suddenly end of Pa and Wayu. That's actually written.
Especially the sudden ended.
The suddenly ended of Pa and Wayu. That's actually written. Wayu decided to start to be a couple with Tanu, but it may not be easy because of the unclear relationship between Tanu and Pai.
It's still funny. It's still so funny. I feel like if you wrap this synopsis, it would make so much more sense. Mia, where are you?
At the same time, Mark.
It's even funnier the second time.
At the same time, marking.
It's funny. It's so funny.
Stop it. At the same time, Mark and Kit got a problem with distancing and timing.
And grammar.
Before they decide to call it off,
IT, you need to edit.
They focus on temporary separation as an option.
The stupidest.
That may make them know how the importance of each other.
It just ended. The importance of each other. Period.
Well, that may make them know how.
Oh, I wonder if there's a synopsis on YouTube. I should look that up.
Pak has tried so hard to be better for Tong, but he feels like he is just not up to Tong's expectation. Also, Tong has tried to give all the best to Pak, but he had misunderstood that Pak never wants it. While Wayu started to open up to a new relationship, a problem of Mark and Kit, a conflict of Pak and Tong.
That sentence makes no sense.
That's it. That's the whole thing. We're not actually going to talk about how Tanu dies. But you know, that's not like a major plot point or anything. Oh, right. That's just my hope and dream. Okay.
It's just my hope and dream. I feel like we should start with Dunbaz. Let's start with Dunbaz.
No, what I want to start with is, here's the thing.
I'm pretty
sure. I will explain myself after.
Hold on. Dunbaz was clearly supposed to be the main couple in this show because there was a whole voting for who Baz should end up with. I forget who the choices were. Obviously the two, but then like I feel like there was maybe neither one of them was a choice.
That actually is preferable.
Truly.
So before we get into YU and Tanu, Dunn and Baz, what I will say, and I'll explain myself later. So you're just gonna have to keep watching if you want to hear the reason why I'm about to say what sounds like a crazy statement.
I fast forwarded through so much of Dunn Baz.
I think Gen Y is a good show. Genuinely, I think it's a good show. I think it is a well-rounded, well-written show.
Yes.
That's my statement, and I will explain myself later. So
no, go ahead and explain yourself now, because this makes so much more sense now that you've like said this. And I do not, and I will not go back and rewatch season 1 and 2, but like it makes total sense because, man, listen, I will commit, but I will not commit to this.
Okay, I would do anything for Cad. So,
but like he's not in the show enough to come. I mean,
he is for me.
I do love Bangpo.
The very small tidbits
Thank
I get
God
of
for
Gad
WhatsApp, man.
Make it worth every second. Hundo P.
Here's the disclaimer: is that like everybody has what they like and what they don't like about the show, and we heard this a lot about Secret Crush on You. People are like, "I'm hate watching it. It's not that good. I don't like it. It's so annoying. It's very cringy." And then we both watched it and we really liked it.
I liked it pretty immediately.
We liked it for very different reasons. And so I would suggest, especially in BL world that isn't quite evolved, like older BLs, where
or just any BL, quite frankly, because even BL. New BLs have those plot holes and those issues and those problems.
Yes.
Give it a try.
Give it a try. Everybody has their own opinions. Everybody sees something differently. Truly. The amount of like ship work that people watch and they're like, oh my God, those boys are in love.
Honestly,
and then other people are like, I don't see it.
I truly think that Gen Y season 2 is a good show. And I understand that sounds crazy to a lot of people that watched it live.
Yeah.
And I think that it specifically sounds crazy to people that watched it live because
there was
thanks
such
to God, there was such a huge gap, right? Like time jump. And so because of God,
and I don't think I rewatched season 1 before I watched season 2.
And so because of God, I was on this thing of like, I need to rewatch everything he's ever been in so that I can like really have a fresh eye for like what he's done and his talent and whatever. And so I watched all of season 1 and then immediately started season 2 and watched all of season 2 all in a row. It was like a straight binge. Yeah. I didn't even have to like wait a week for episodes to come out or anything, right? Like I was like full on binging, and I binged from ep 1 of season 1 to ep 12 of season 2 all in a row. And that is how you appreciate Gen Y season 2. That's the trick with this show, is you really do need to watch season 1 and season 2 back to back like that in order to appreciate the symmetry, because
there's something that happens in like the beginning of season 1 that they like finalize in the end of season 2, which is like
there's
the most insane thing you've ever heard.
So much symmetry, and a lot of the seeds for why people act the way they act and the things that they do and the way that things go down the way they do are planted in season 1. And I think that if you're not fresh off of season 1, there's just no way you're going to remember that those like sort of plot devices have been introduced.
Right.
And so then in that point, season 2 seems psychotic.
Which it is.
But it's not. It's actually, it's a good show. It's well written. It has symmetry. Listen, I know it sounds crazy, but it's because like this actually probably should be shortened into like one thing. Probably.
Okay. Here's the main reason why I think it's psychotic. And truly the thing that I'm so sorry. I did fast forward through most of Dunn Baz, because here's the thing, y'all. I swear Dunn is related to somebody in Star Hunter, and they were like, give this boy some work.
Well, because we're watching Superboy. If you haven't watched Superboy, you should totally watch Superboy.
It's subbed.
Nangkad Bibet, y'all.
Nong bonus.
BC.
BC.
I have his number memorized. I'm proud of myself.
Because I love number 4. And
yeah, Nong bonus BC.
Bonus is wonderful.
Yeah, Nong bonus BC. Also, Nong Bank Bi Nung and Nong Bank Bi Song are also
wonderful.
Yeah.
But Dunn is like randomly in the audience of Superboy, and I was like, yeah, he is definitely related to somebody in Star Hunter, and he got this role because of that, because obviously Baz was not going to stay with his original ship and therefore had to be reshipped.
I don't know, because honestly, I was like, what would be funnier is if they were filming Superboy and Baz was like,
that boy in the audience.
Why not him? ¿Por qué no done?
Okay, so let's talk about the fact that in season 1 we never see Peepaw.
Never see Peepaw.
And then Peepaw is revealed at the end of season 1, right?
Well,
the
you
very
don't
last
see
episode.
him. He walks up.
I swear in the last episode he walks up and like they reveal his face, right?
I don't think so. I think his face.
In
No, he walks
Ep1.
up and you know it's him. Here's why. Okay, because I watched these back to back. I caught a bunch of like, what do they call them?
Easter eggs?
No, not bloopers, but like when it's like a mistake from one scene to the next. What's that called?
Yeah.
There's a word for it.
I don't know.
Okay, so what if you know that word? Please comment and tell me.
Like when you see the boom in the
yeah, exactly. Or if like, for example, because this actually I did notice it whenever Bank Tora gets like the shit beat out of him in the swimming pool situation in college. His hair is soaking wet when they first beat the shit out of him, and then he stands up and his hair is dry.
It's coming to me.
Continuity issues. Continuity issues. Yes. Continuity is the word. Thank you.
That's it.
Because I watched these back to back, I noticed continuity issues that like other people may not have if you watched it live. One of the continuity issues is that the way that they shot this, the very last episode of Gen Y season 1 was Peepaw like walking up.
Yes. His shoes are different.
And you see his feet and his legs.
Yeah. His socks are different. His shoes are different.
His shoes are different. He's wearing different shoes. He's gotten a shoe upgrade by season 2.
They got that Taukanoi money.
Taukanoi sponsored the first season too.
Oh, that's right. You said that. There was an additional. We still got the jelly. We still got the Taukanoi. I feel like they added some sponsors to season 2.
I think they just added that or Kim Cop money.
Or more people were eating Taukanoi.
Yeah, maybe Taukanoi potentially increased their sponsorship. I don't know.
Or more people ate that jelly. We could not find that jelly in Thailand.
No, 7-Eleven hit me up. Anyways, because that's where it was supposed to be. You were supposed to be able to get it at 7-Eleven. And I looked at every 7-Eleven I went to.
So much at 7-Eleven.
Yeah. Anyways, so his shoes changed. So the way season 2 starts, season 1 ends with like you see his shoes and his feet, and then it goes to Baz, and Baz goes Peepaw, and then it
season
ends.
1, because season 1 starts with the repeat of the finale of season 2.
Yeah, season 2. Well, no, season 2 starts with the repeat of season 1.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah, and so instead of just seeing up to his knees, we go all the way up, and you see his face, and
played by Big. Who is an excellent actor, sweet man, plays that boy who never gets the boy. In all the shows. Go watch My Matchmate, watch Big Dragon.
He's also not going to get the boy in Big Dragon. Spoiler. I don't know if you heard, but like Moss and Big are kind of shipped a little bit.
Yeah. And so begins the throuple that is Peepaw, YU, and Thanu.
No, listen.
However,
calling it a throuple is being far too generous.
Peepaw's on his deathbed, and he will
dying.
Die.
Peepaw dies in the show. He dies.
And then YU and Thanu go take a beach frolic.
No, it's a beach celebration of life. Thank you.
In which they wear T-shirts that say
"Life goes on, love goes on." Why?
I remember watching that the first time and being like,
blooded.
Life goes on, love goes on.
That's cold-blooded. That's cold. The man has just died.
No, you know what's cold-blooded is the fact that at the end, Thanu and YU go to Peepaw's gravesite, and YU gives back his frog prince and is like, "Bye, I'm gonna go bang Thanos."
What's wild? Okay, honestly, okay.
And then Thanu goes all out with his like promposal of a boyfriend confession and is like, "Bimpangana." Shut up.
Or no, he says, "Bimpanga Pina."
Bimpanga Pina. And like this whole thing falls down, which is so funny to me because like I can't imagine any college boy, no matter where you are, what you're doing. Like, I cannot imagine.
Nah. First of all, boys are super emotional. Second of all, college boys, especially nowadays, are extra as hell.
Yeah, but I can't imagine. Like, okay, in college you have like fraternities and sororities. Like the sororities do this, right? Where like when you reveal like you're big and you're little, like this is what happens. But fraternities are like let's just get each other drunk and like what are they even called in fraternities? Do they have big and little? Like they're brothers.
You have pledge brothers, yeah.
But yeah, there's no like big little family line, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can't imagine. I mean, like truly bare minimum. I can't imagine a boy pulling like setting up truly the boyfriend proposals in the show are incredible.
Although we're also talking about a man who it's been revealed he was the original one that saved YU. So they reveal in season 2 that like Peepaw isn't actually the one that saves YU.
No, they reveal it in season 1.
Oh yeah,
at the end of season 1.
Yeah, that Peepaw isn't the one that's actually
like,
saved YU. Right, he carries him to the infirmary because YU is a delicate little snowflake. Truly,
put him on the pedestal with pee crit and gun out of
soft little like
angel.
Yes,
which is
he's fainted. He's fainted from the heat.
Sure. I mean, it's hot in Thailand.
He's fainted. And do you think if I faint in Thailand? Wait, no, but I don't want Dunn to show up. Okay, I don't want to faint in Thailand if that's what happens.
Whoever you're shipped with shows up.
SoCad.
Who are you shipped with?
SoCad. Actually, one time somebody wrote that they shipped me with War in one of our question boxes. I'm like, yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes and amen.
Yes. Anyways, so we are talking about a boy who like runs up and dramatically carries someone to the infirmary, and then when he has to leave, he's like, "Please take care of Nong." Right? So like that's also truly, the person we're talking about here.
Also, the fact that Thanu commits to his best. I mean, listen, Thanu does the most. First of all, it's revealed that Padbok
is in love with Thanu.
Yeah. But
it's revealed. I don't even care. I don't care that he never said the words. He is fully. These two are way so in love. These two are so in love. Yeah. And yes, Junior and Dunn. So you watched the whole freaking series.
Hold on. This is what you realize at the end of this show. Is that Thanu says the least but does the most, right? He is trying to defeat destiny by not ending up with
screw you, fate.
Nong Pai. You also have him committing to taking care of YU because of Peepaw.
Right, because Peepaw's dying.
He also didn't go to jail.
Wait, does that make YU like his god boyfriend? Is that what's happened? Like, was he willed to him?
Yeah. I want to know who I'm willed
in his last will and testament. People was like,
"Oh, that would make life so much easier for me if somebody just was like, take care of her." Listen, I'd go for an arranged marriage at this point. Then you have Padbok, who he fully almost went to jail for, but
sure.
Okay, so it's revealed that like Padbok would have gone to
Junior
jail.
Junior is pretty cute. Like I wouldn't go to jail for Junior. Junior's cute. You don't think Junior's cute?
No.
Oh, interesting. I think Junior's cute.
Not even a little bit.
Really?
Listen, maybe I'll be convinced during his little boxing BL that he's in.
I mean, I've also watched so much ship work that he and God did because Junior and God were shipped momentarily.
So he was gonna the funniest part of that reveal of like, so you find out, right, because Padbok and YU and Thanu have been fighting throughout both seasons.
Yes.
And finally it comes to a head, what, in episode 11 or 12 of
it's episode 12
season
of season
2. And you have this moment where it's finally revealed that like Thanu took the fall for Padbok because Padbok had been in trouble before, and if he didn't take the fall, he would have gotten like
expelled.
Kicked out of school.
Yeah.
And Thanu was like, I just got suspended for a year, it's fine.
So he went to the police, but he didn't tell Padbok that he was going to go to the police to
Padbok
take the
just
fall.
Thought he abandoned him.
Yes. And so this confrontation, it happens in the last step, and it's truly, this is when, okay, first of all, I watched this entire series, like I pretty much like back to back this situation. And like the whole time I'm watching it and I'm like, Dunbaz just aren't it for me. And I'm trying to figure out why, right? Like the whole time I'm like, listen, I love Baz with like my whole heart and soul.
Dun Daddy.
And Dun never did anything to me.
Dun
right?
Daddy.
Dun was like fine. He's fine. There's
Daddy
nothing
Dun?
wrong with it. No, Daddy Jew is what it is.
No, I know, but like a ship name for Junior and Dun would be like Daddy Dun.
Ew. So I'm trying to figure it out, and then I realize it's the chemistry.
Yeah.
Those two have no, like, there's nothing in me that believes that, like, YU actually wants to date Thanos. And when Tanu and Padbook are having this fight, this, like, when it's, like, being revealed, like, what all went down, that was the only time I was like, okay,
and
now
then they
kiss.
have this group hug, and it's the most precious thing you've ever seen.
I fully, in that moment, was like, okay, but, like, maybe now kiss. And I realized it's because those two, Tanu and Padbook, are fully in love with each other, and they just refuse to admit it because here's why. Padbook is like, you were the friend that I loved the most, and this betrayal really hurt me. And I couldn't imagine even fathoming like somebody betraying me this way, and especially because of what you mean to me. And like he's going through all of this, and then Tanu was like, I went to the police for you, and I essentially he's like, I laid down my life for you, and I didn't want you to feel guilty because it was something that I had to do for you. Like, I don't know. Maybe y'all should try to kiss and just like see what happens. Like,
they're friends. Maybe they don't want to kiss. If they were signed to GMMTV, they would fully be like, yeah, let's do the thing.
Yeah.
Truly, Thanu takes friendship to the next level with literally everyone.
I mean, yeah, he got willed a boy, and he was like, yeah, this makes sense to me.
Yeah, let's do this.
I can't get behind any of it, honestly, with Dunbaz.
The show that made me not care about a beach frolic.
Okay, again, it was a beach celebration of life.
I fast forwarded through that pool scene.
Okay.
I've never fast forwarded through a pool scene, and I fast forwarded through the pool scene.
Here's why ultimately, though, I think that I could not be in it for Dunbaz, aka Tanu and YU.
Yeah.
Is because, and again, I was trying to figure out why. I was like, okay, what's my problem with this? Like, what's the issue here? And I'm thinking back through, like, okay, why do I love Baz, right? Like, why do I like this character? Right. And I remembered that in 2 Moons, again, these are like different stories.
Go rewatch season 1 of Gen Y, or season 1 Gen Y series Sunday.
Yeah.
We'll explain.
I remember in 2 Moons, I watched that show and I hated Peepaw, but I liked YO. He's YO in 2 Moons.
Of course.
Enough. And I just wanted YO to have what he wanted. And throughout all of 2 Moons, he was so sure of like, this is the person that I love, and this is the person that I want, and this is who I want to be with. And he loved him for so many reasons.
But in this show, he was like, meh.
But in Gen Y, specifically in season 2, the whole time he's kind of just like on the fence about whether or not he even likes Tanu or not, right? And like, I think
because he's kept in the dark so long about
what's going on with Peepaw. And I think that ultimately he was gaslit into thinking that he loved Tanu, because I think that YU has a lot of trauma, a lot of unresolved issues.
Yeah.
Because his boyfriend abandoned him, and then when his boyfriend showed back up, he was dying, and then he literally watched him die. He was in the room sitting next to him when he died.
Out of control.
And so like truly I feel like him dating Tanu is a trauma response, and therefore like I cannot get behind, like I want better for YU, because I like YU so much, because Baz makes me like characters so much that like I want just like whatever it is that they want for themselves. And I don't think he actually wants this for himself.
No.
And so that's why I'm not down with this whole Tanu YU situation. Also, like, they have a weird ship name, like Tanu.
Why new?
I mean, if it was YU, it just proves that Baz should just be shipped with himself always. Because honestly, in season 1, when you don't see any of the boys and it's just like Baz being YU.
Okay, that leads us into the next thing, which is Kim Cop, which Mark and YU's relationship is what's missing from season 2, because Mark and YU are truly the sweetest of friends in season 1, and you have Mark going through it over Kit the whole second season, but not in a fun way, like he's going through it over Kit in season 1.
I don't know. Honestly, I think we had 2 very different experiences with Mark and Kit.
Season 2, Mark and Kit are boyfriends. They're living together. We rarely get boyfriends in BL, right? Like, it's truly all of the lead up to boyfriends. And then you have we have the Ep 11, and then you have finally in Ep 12, we get like maybe a few minutes of boyfriends.
Right.
And so I was excited and hopeful for boyfriends in season 2. And then you get this weird, still cat and mouse of boyfriends in season 2. And I'm like, we're not cat and mouse.
I didn't see it as cat and mouse. I saw it as like, it's just the dynamic of their relationship, first of all. And then second of all, I thought that their drama with this whole, like, we're going to be physically apart. I was like, okay, first of all, you guys are idiots.
Yeah, we're practicing for long distance by being long distance where we actually have to be long distance. Is the dumbest thing you've ever said.
They're 20-year-old boys. Like, I was like, who, if you think about it and you're like, okay, who would actually dream this ridiculousness up? Yes. A 20-year-old boy.
Children.
So it actually makes sense, because even though these actors are much older than this,
right, their characters
are 20-year-old boys. And so, like, yeah, who would dream up this whole, like, this is how we have to do things?
I will say,
emotional 20-year-old boy. Like,
the fact that they haven't banged and
it's very hard for you to, like,
been living together, because first of all, teen boys, second of all, teen gay boys, third of all, it's very, very sweet because they're so wholesome. And there's a moment where Mark and Kit are sitting on the couch and they're having a conversation about something. I don't remember, but Mark, basically Kit is throwing himself at Mark, and Mark is like, wait, are you doing this because you want to pamper me? And Kit goes, who else should I pamper except for you?
Right.
And Mark is like, no. I want our first time to be, I want you to want me as much as I want you.
But also,
and it's a very sweet moment. So then when they do actually bang one out, there's a sweet moment where he's like, oh my God, you finally want me as much as I want you.
I don't know that I would say it's a sweet moment. It gave me why are you PTSD, and I fully had to, like, walk away. I was like, I can't do this. Because the line is, you long for me as much as I long for you. And I was like, I gotta go.
The translation I got was different. The translation.
I watched it on iQIYI though, and you watched it on YouTube.
I watched it
on YouTube.
Subs. Yes. So the translation I got, because I wrote it down because I was like, this is I was gonna say, line.
I texted it word for word to you earlier. So the iQIYI translation,
he goes, finally you long for me as I long for you.
Yeah, that's what I said. The longing. That's what I just said.
Yeah, but like,
you long for me.
Way different. I feel like yearning is like more sexual. Longing is like lovers who are like,
they're both
lost.
The worst. No, they're both terrible.
I do love Mark's line of, Kit, do you wish to do it here on the bed?
And then he says, aren't you stating the obvious? Honestly, I can't. I hated that. I hated so much of everything. As the soft stand, I'm almost never in it for the spice. It just like I listen, that's just my experience. Everybody has a different experience. Everybody like.
However, Copter gives his performance of a lifetime when Peepaw dies.
Well, but also here's the other thing is, like, you went into it. The reason we had such different experiences with the Mark Kit relationship is because you went into it really wanting something specific, I think, for Kim Cop.
Yeah.
And I didn't, because I love Kim Cop, but I didn't necessarily like need or want something from.
I want a character development. We got zero character development
Kit relationship, but also I think because your experience with it was watching it live, there was such a big time gap. In your mind, you were like, they've been boyfriends for 3 years, because you keep saying that. You're like, it's been 3 years, it's been 3 years. And I kept having to be like, it hasn't. They moved in together like a semester ago. Not even a year, like a semester ago.
Right.
So like, they actually haven't really been together that long, like officially.
Right.
And they also haven't been living together that long.
I think I really liked them in Close Friends, and I felt like their chemistry was better in Close Friends than it was in Gen Y season 2.
See, I think they have a really nice, I really like their chemistry together. I believe them. I thought that their like bed scene was really well done. Besides that, like, you long for me thing, I was like, oh.
I just feel like maybe their storyline was lacking. I'm excited. They have a new show coming. I am super pumped. I will support Kim and Copter in literally everything they do. So
the thing that did piss me off about their storyline is like, I feel like I just had less expectations for them. Like, I didn't put so much on them.
Yeah.
Like, I wasn't expecting them to carry the show at all, because for me, I went into it being like, I'm just here to look at Gad. Like, that's why I'm here, and everything else is like a fun extra.
Yeah. There's so much to this show.
Yeah, but like, what did piss me off about Kim Cop is that he didn't even get the goddamn scholarship.
I know. They were like, let's be long distance to practice for long distance, but we're not actually going to.
And also, he hadn't even applied for the scholarship yet. And then he didn't even get it, because here's the thing. Their little long distance experiment thing actually did achieve what it was supposed to. They became a stronger couple.
Mm-hmm.
They worked through a lot of their like issues with each other and the way that they treated each other. They understood each other better. It served the purpose it was supposed to serve.
Right.
And then when Kit didn't get the scholarship, instead of being sad, which should have been the correct response, right? Like, he put so much work into this application.
Yeah.
He had been studying so hard, like his entire school career, right? It's set up all the way even through season 1. He got a letter of recommendation that he didn't turn in because he like wanted to get it of his own merit. Like, baby boo, that's not the way the world works, but whatever.
I literally got into college. We didn't have to write essays to get into college for my university. You got in via your transcript and a letter of recommendation.
So like, he like worked really hard to get the scholarship, and like, this was his dream. And instead of being sad, he was like, oh my god, this means I get to stay with you. And I was like, that literally defeats the purpose of all of this agony you guys just went through, of all of this work you just did as a couple. You've just defeated the purpose by being like, I'm so excited I get to stay with you. And like, because basically what he's done at that point is give up on his dream, right? He's like, oh, it doesn't even matter. When like, it should have still mattered to him.
Yeah.
Because here's it, like, I think that in relationships, all relationships, like not just romantic relationships, but honestly, probably especially romantic relationships, you need to have something in your life outside of that relationship.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I think, in my own personal life and my own personal approach to it, I think that makes that relationship hollow. If it's the only thing, if there's nothing else, because at that point you're not choosing it. At that point, it's your only option.
Yeah, totally.
So like, you're not choosing to devote your time and your energy and your emotion to it, because at that point it's your only choice. You don't have a choice. At that point, it's your only outlet.
Yeah. Versus
if you have a well-rounded life, right? If you have like,
this is why you can have War and Sia and now God, you choose each one of them through a season.
And like, I'm on video 158 of 162 playlist on YouTube of Gad's IG lives.
Meanwhile, Bonus is the only one for me.
So like, I felt like it destroyed all and any development that they had, and that pissed me off.
That makes so much sense. Yeah, I think Mark Kit.
But otherwise, honestly, I did think they were cute. I thought they were really sweet. I thought that like, because I know that Kim Cop stans were really, really like looking forward to this. And I get it, right? Because they have such sweet chemistry.
Listen, we get another show. That's all that matters.
Yeah. And like,
Also, go watch Close Friend, because Close Friend is actually really good. Season 2 of Close Friend is really good.
Yeah.
Like, Kim Cop have a really fun relationship in that show. I still haven't watched the last episode, but which apparently Dunbass makes an appearance, and apparently season 3 of Close Friend is going to be Dunbass, which is really funny. I know. Highly recommend Close Friend. Fluke and Kim Cop, truly the foursome that like you didn't think makes sense, but like they're really fun friends. They're cool. Okay, so yeah, Kim Cop in the show I was so annoyed by, but like I enjoyed watching Kim and Copter act their butts off.
I thought it was sweet.
Copter did the thing.
I did think that the way that they shot the like meteorite thing was really cool. I was like, ooh, because so the way they shot the meteorite thing is that you think they're actually face to face, and then it's revealed that they're doing it via FaceTime.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it's so sweet because it shows you like what could have been. I almost cried when like the scene changes and you realize that it's Kit holding the phone instead of them actually being face to face. I was like, cool. Oh, first of all, like that's genius filmmaking. And second of all, it really tugged at my heartstrings, and it made me sort of like, I feel like feel the way they were feeling.
Yeah.
Like for each other and missing each other and like hoping. And it made me like more sad for them. Yeah.
Speaking of filmmaking, the balcony scene with Bankbo totally now makes sense that the La Cuisine director directed this, because the light effect,
the shooting style of it is so similar.
Okay, let's talk about good old Pak Tong.
You know what?
Good old Bankbo.
If you had asked me to talk about this couple and I had only seen season 1 and I had never met Bonus, I would be like, I don't want to talk about this.
Yes.
But I've now seen season 2. Also, Bonus is
an earth angel.
An earth angel. Y'all. An angel among men. An angel walking the face of this earth that we have been graced with.
I somehow worked up the courage to ask for a photo with him. And it's a moment that like I don't know how I achieved.
Honestly, I feel like Bonus is my bestie. I heart you, Bonus.
I love Bonus so much.
Here's the deal. Because we interviewed Element, it really like, because I had like met Bonus and quite frankly just like I had asked him and heard his answer about like acting before I watched this season, it really gave me a different perspective of him and of Tora and of God.
And Bonus act their butts off.
Oh my God. I do remember thinking in season 1 that like those two boys are phenomenal actors, but it wasn't until we had interviewed them, go watch our interview, and they told us that like they had never, and it was Tora who answered this question, and he said none of us ever intended to be actors. He was like, we all came into this wanting to be singers, wanting to be dancers, wanting to be idols. He was like, the acting thing happened because of COVID. Yep. We couldn't launch a boy group during COVID. It wasn't going to work. The promotions we needed to do, right? Yep. Like all the stuff that you have to do to make like a boy group work wasn't going to happen or work during COVID. So they started acting. And knowing that, going into season, like Gen Y season 2 with that framing,
wild.
It really made me realize how incredibly talented both these boys are, and God too. Like,
because here's the thing,
is and that Bank Tanateep, which we will get to later. Yeah. Oh my God,
Bankbo's storyline is insane. Like, truly, it's aggressive, it's
problematic, it's toxic,
it's everything. But these boys act it in such a way that like I'm fully invested into what's going on, and I want these boys to work it out. And truly, like,
I don't want them to work it out. I think that Pak is literally the worst person on the face of this earth, and Tong, he deserves so much
truly,
better. But
the moment that like, you know, they've had this like momentary sweetness at the beginning of season 2, and then Pak finds out that Tong has done all this stuff where he's like switched their scores and done all these things. And so they haven't had their first kiss yet.
No. Which,
Pac
by
is
the way,
like,
okay,
let's hate bang one out again because boy
no,
loves a hate bang.
it's not a hate bang. Here's the
An
thing:
anger
it's
bang.
no, like what it is, quite frankly, is like sexual intimidation. Like,
no,
it
it's
is
him
problematic.
being like, maybe the sex is good enough that like I can ignore the fact that I hate you.
No, it's him using sex as a weapon. It's him being like, I'm going to use this to punish you because I'm mad at you, and like this is not going to be a sweet. Because if you notice, the 2 times he does it once in season 1 and he does it again in season 2. If you watch, and again, all of these boys are phenomenal actors, and it's just so much more impressive knowing that they didn't go into this like studying acting, wanting to be actors. Like, I am truly blown away by their talent, and all of them are so talented, especially like Tana Teep, Tora, Bonus, Gad, all of them in very different ways, but like truly a league above anyone in this world, quite frankly, and not just those, but like everyone is Bonus, because you see the difference between their intimate moments when, like, at the beginning of season 2, right, when it's like very much like a give and take versus just a take. You see it in him, you see it on his face, you see it in his eyes, and so at that point it's not a give and take, it's a take. It's a take, and it's an act of violence. It is. Pac is a textbook abuser. So what happens is he uses sex as a weapon 2 times, once in season 1 and once in season 2, that we see. And then he does very textbook abusive things. Like after the one that happens in season 1, he's like, but baby, I love you. Don't go anywhere. I see all these bruises on you. It's because I love you so much. Like, that is textbook abusive behavior. It shouldn't be romanticized. That's not an okay thing.
And then he totally goes the other way in season 2 where he's like, you need to leave.
Right. So in season 2, he does the opposite, where again, it's textbook abusive behavior, where he goes, you deserve this. You deserve this because you wronged me. I did this to you because you wronged me. This is your fault. Textbook abusive behavior. This is your fault. Right. Where he like, and I think Pac is a terrible person.
I do appreciate that, like, they do have a separation in that moment where Tong fully goes like, I love you. I hope this, like, I'm giving you my first kiss because I want to genuinely tell you I love you. But then he does leave, which is like props to Tong, that he like fully leaves the situation and is like, okay, you've found out that like I did all these things and that I switched the scores and like you're going through it over something. So like I'm not a part of it because like that's your own issue and your own problem. And so he's like, you're gonna have to figure that out on your own.
Well, no, that's actually not the way he approaches it. He's like really upset about it and then meddles in his life forever and like hovers over him and like still protects him and all this stuff.
Truly, but like from a distance.
He leaves because after like that kiss, which again, that balcony scene is really powerful and very well acted, particularly by Bonus. Tora does an excellent job.
Yeah.
But Bonus is just so incredibly talented. Like, Bonus is a really inspiring just human being, honestly. Like, He's
incredible.
Bonus is very inspiring, especially if you watch Superboy and then you watch if you watch all of the things that like Bonus has done in the way that he like conducts himself and carries himself and just the way that he is, like,
he's cool.
Bonus is a very cool, inspiring person. Like,
but the way that he
Bonus is pretty great.
And the way that he plays this character is perfect.
So what happens on that balcony scene is they kiss, right? And it's his first kiss and it's really meaningful to their relationship.
They don't kiss technically.
Right. Tong kisses him and Puck does not kiss him back. But like that's very meaningful, right? And it's been building up since season 1. And then Puck still says, you need to leave. So that's why he leaves. He doesn't do it of his own accord. He's not like, oh, this is because you need time to work it out for yourself. No. Right. He leaves because Puck has chased him away. And then he tries to continue to take care of Puck until Puck has this confrontation with him after the whole like bullying incident.
Right.
And he's like, you need to stay away from me. Stay out of my business. Don't talk to me. Don't be involved in my life. And then he takes the step back.
Right. And then we have the final poolside scene, which is very sweet, and another dramatic over the top "Will you be my boyfriend?" Very sweet.
It makes me sad that they ended up together.
Truly, Pak and Tong are so problematic. I understand, but Bang Bo, this is why we have What's That Man. This is why I really loved What's That Man, and this is why I screamed like, "Watch What's That Man," because it redeems Bang Bo and like everything.
The chemistry these two have together is off the charts,
and
they
so
both give
subtle. It's like understated.
Yeah.
It's not this forced chemistry of like we're touching each other and we're all over each other. It's literally like we look at each other across the room and like I'm convinced they want to bang.
I like
Hundo P.
These two truly, and I will say, okay, I think Pak's a bad person. I think Pak should not be romanticized. I think anything and everything Pak does is actually very, very problematic and bad and toxic.
Yes.
Not a good person. No. Not a good relationship to romanticize. Not even a little bit. Bank and Bonus are phenomenal actors because I hate Pak. And I think that's the right feeling to feel based on this character. And I think that this whole like first kiss situation, the way that it's carried from season 1 to season 2, and this is why I say I really think with Gen Y you need to watch it back to back. You need to like do a binge, is because like the symmetry of all of that, the whole like him not kissing him back doesn't have the same weight as it would have if you didn't watch season 1 and that locker scene wasn't fresh in your mind. Because
and truly the fact that like him not kissing him back is like, this isn't an emotional attachment. This is me being like Pak being like, I'm an asshole and I'm treating you like your shit, and like I'm doing this is like the most like problematic thing. And so if he at any point put his emotion into it, he probably wouldn't be able to do the things that he did, because I think he genuinely does care for him, but he's like, no, this is about me. This is about how you've wronged me. I mean, truly, Pak gets beaten up.
Here's the thing. Pak is super selfish. He also he uses sex as a weapon, which is not okay. He uses sexual intimidation as a weapon as well, right? You see that in season 1 a lot, which again, like that alone makes him a bad person. Right. But his hairline trigger attitude and temper, like he literally sprints across campus to punch Bank Tanateep in the face at one point.
I mean, Sandy is psychotic.
No, we will get to Sandy, but actually no.
Yes, this leads us into Sandy. So Sandy is a fascinating character because truly you and I had very different experiences with Sandy, where I was like, Sandy needs to find himself a man.
With Sandy specifically, you have to watch season 1 to season 2 straight through, because Sandy actually is the most well-rounded character in this whole show. He is the most well-written character in the show, and aside from Tong, because Bonus is just that talented, the most well-acted character in this show.
Yeah, because he's fully psychotic.
No, he's not. He's just going through something.
I know, you said
he's just going through something. Okay, here's why he's just going through something. Here's why. First of all, let me say, this is not colored by my love of Bank Tanateep.
He is wonderful.
Bank Tanateep is an angel sent from heaven. Bank Tanateep is such a sweet boy. He is so nice, to the point where like I walked into that Element interview thinking that Bank Tora was like my guy, because like remember I had tiki-taka'd all the Taz.
Yes.
And I had watched all the tiki-taka content. I had watched the Chris Brown Take Me Down cover. Oh my God. And I got like,
taken down.
Bank Tora is my guy. So I walked into this Element interview thinking my element is fire. That's what I walked in thinking. That's what I walked in thinking. And then
we should have switched shirts.
We should have.
Coulda, woulda, shoulda.
Except I ended up with like a Buzz shirt accidentally, because like nothing in Thailand is red. Anyways.
True.
And then I actually spoke to Bang Tanateep, and I just like, it hit me when I sat down and I looked at him. I like, all of my emotions about The Moment I Need You came flooding back to me, because I genuinely think The Moment I Need You and The Moment Since are the best Star Hunter productions, period. Done. Like, I think they're so well made. I think they're so well acted. I think that, like, they're beautiful. I think they're well written. And all of my emotions about, like, that show and that character,
you got Tana-teeped,
came back to me. And then, like, he was so sweet. He was so nice, and he, like, remembered little details about again, bare minimum. He, like, remembered things, like men doing the bare minimum. He remembered something, but, like,
he was an angel.
He remembered little things. He was really sweet. Like, he was so fun. Like, he had such a good attitude, like, and a nice vibe. And I got Tana-teeped. I walked into that interview thinking that Bank Tora was the one for me, and I walked out realizing Bank Tana-teep
Gen Y season 2, the psycho that is Sandy.
So what I want to say is this is not actually colored by my love of Bank Tana-teep, who I think is such a good boy and such an angel sent from heaven. That being said, this is actually not colored by that. Sandy is the most well-written, well-rounded, and well-acted character in Gen Y, period. Because Sandy's character development is so subtle and it's so true to life.
Yeah.
Because people do not transform from one episode to the next.
No.
People don't transform in a semester of school. People don't, right? Like, you have to go through life and learn lessons, and you have to grow and mature in order to become a better person and a different person. And that is what happens with Sandy. And this is why I think that, like, he's actually the most well-written character, because his character development, you have to watch it from from Ep 1 of season 1 all the way through Ep 12 of season 2.
Because you know going into it, for the most part, that, like, Bang Pawn is,
you know, that's already established
who he's going to end up with, which is wild, because throughout season 1 you're like, there's no indication. Like, Pi is being connected to Thanu for some reason. Like, it's the most far-reaching thing. And so going into season 2, all Sandy cares about is connecting Pi and Thanu, which makes no sense. You're like, why is this boy so obsessed with these two?
It makes perfect sense. You're like, if you watch it back to back with season 1.
Love life.
But that's the point. Sandy has been in love with Pi since season 1, and
I
you
also
see
have
it
been in love with Pi
subtly. Well, I've been in love with Tana-teep the whole time, so it's fine. Sandy, you see it in subtle ways in season 1, and you see him when they start the project. So it's established in season 1 that, like, they're little besties. Out of the group of 4 of the little high school babies, those 2 are, like, the little besties, right? In the group, right? Like, they have, like, a special connection. And when they start the project in season 1, the, like, what does love mean to you project, you watch, like, you don't realize it. And that's what's so cool and subtle about Sandy, and so cool about Bang Tana-teep as an actor, is that, like, it's so subtle, but you watch him
have his gay awakening.
fall in love with Pi. Like, he realizes, and you watch him kind of, like,
and so he spends all season 1 and season 2 avoiding the fact that he's in love with his best friend.
Yeah, so you watch him skirt the line with Pi, where he's like, well, what does love mean to you, and blah blah, right? And all this stuff, and he's, like, trying to figure out, and, like, he just can't reconcile the fact that he's into this boy. Not necessarily that he loves him, but that he's, like, having these feelings for his friend.
Right.
And he just, like, he can't figure it out. And so what happens is...
And Pi gives him subtle, like, pushes and hints, because at the end of season 1, he is like, I get to choose my own destiny, right? Like, he changed all the answers in that little bucket, and he's like, look, you can be whatever you want to be.
Yeah. But so he very much, Sandy... they also established in season 1, because of who he is just as a person, he's very much like an eye for an eye kind of person. Like, he's very black and white, of justice, right? Very much like, there is black, there is white, there is no gray, there is no in the middle.
His, like, psycho, like, serial killer note about the scores in season 1 is the funniest thing, where you're like, what is this? Like this makes sense why in season 2 everybody confessed to their boyfriends in this most elaborate thing, because in season 1, instead of being like, hey, I know you switched the scores, he's like, let me give you a serial killer note where I've cut out letters of magazines.
So here's what I think personally. I don't know. I haven't talked to the writer, the director, but what I think is that he is very much like an eye for an eye, like justice is black or white kind of person, but he wants the people around him to like get to that conclusion on their own, and it frustrates him when they don't, and so then he tries to push them in that direction because he wants them to figure it out on their own, and then when they don't, like, he gets annoyed and he's like, well, okay, you need to figure it out, and that's why like he does the things with the notes, or like in season 2 where he like fakes the stomach ache so he can try and lure YU to the hospital to find out Peepaw is there, right? Like all of this stuff is like, but the point is they establish this in season 1 is that like this is who he is as a person.
I don't necessarily think he wants them to figure it out on their own. I think he knows what he wants them to figure out, and he's like, I'm gonna get you to that point.
Well, but that's what I mean is like instead of just
not
like,
on their own.
But you're like, why doesn't he just tell them flat out? Is because like he wants them to realize it, right? Like,
but I think he wants them to realize what he realized, right? Like he doesn't want them to figure it out on their own. He's like, I have a conclusion for you.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying is he wants them to figure it out on their own because he sees something,
his
and
conclusion, yeah.
And so
he's like, I know that Pi is supposed to end up with Thanu, and I'm going to get him to that point,
but so
whether or not he wants it or not.
Well, but here's what's happened is it's not about, he doesn't realize or think about it in that way, is what he sees, because again, they establish that like he's a black or white, eye for an eye, justice kind of person, is that like he's talking to this person that he realizes that he's into, but he can't reconcile that he's into this person, but that he knows he loves this person because that's his best friend, right? But like these feelings, like he can't,
and he's doing everything he can to avoid that,
right? But at the same time, he feels like he does the thing like we do, like any normal person does for the person that you love, is he does anything and everything that he can do to get justice for this person that he loves, that he feels has been wronged. And so what he feels is that because Pi has told him about this like destiny situation, what he thinks is that YU has stolen Thanu from him, and that YU has stolen Pi's destiny, and that YU has essentially stolen Pi's future.
Right.
And to him, he's like, that's not okay. This person deserves the world. I would do anything, kind of like we were talking about Padbook and Thanu, who clearly deserve each other.
Yes.
Right? Like he's like, I will do anything to make sure this person gets the thing that he is meant to have.
Yeah.
Right? Just like how I suffered through watching all of Gen Y season 1 and 2 for God. Because like I would do anything for him because it's true love. Yes, it's destiny.
It'll never happen.
So he listen, what were his actions like normal or correct or positive? No. But he was just going through something. And the great thing about Sandy is that he goes through it. Oh, he goes through it. And he does it in the worst way and the wrong way. And then part of the reason that he ends up meddling in everybody's business, his nose is in everyone's business, is because he can't be in his own business.
True.
He can't handle being in his own business. And so he's like, I'm going to go fuck around in everybody else's business. And you can tell he very much has this, like, it's not about punishing other people. It's almost about punishing himself.
Yeah, it's about avoiding his own issues and his own life, because that's literally anybody in real life. If somebody in your life is so focused on you and what's going on in your life, right? Like you see this with parents who are so concerned about like what's right for their children and what they want for their children. It's because like they're living vicariously through you, or they think they know what's best for you in your life, and they're like, let me tell you what you should do.
Right. And like it's almost a punishment for himself as well, because like
I think it's just avoidance. I don't know if it's punishment because like he's not.
I feel like no. Okay, here's why I say I think it's like almost even a punishment for himself.
Like ending up with somebody else, like none of the other relationships, like the Pak Tong, because like his main focus a lot is Pak Tong.
Okay, because first of all, again, he's a very black or white justice kind of thing, and he sees these people in a relationship, and he's like, "You're lying to him," and he's like, "That's not okay because this is my friend group," and like again, are his actions justified? No, but this is just how he reacts to the world. And the other reason I say that, like, it's almost like a punishment, like, he understands what he's doing is wrong and bad, and that, like, he should be punished for it, but he still feels like he should do it, like, for the justice of his friends, is because when Pac sprints across campus to go punch him in the face, he's like, keep hitting me, this is your justice, right? Like, because it's been pointed out to him that like Pac actually didn't know about the whole thing. It was all Tong, and he didn't know that in the beginning. So in season 1, when Pac gets beat up, he didn't actually know that. He thought Pac was involved.
It was Sandy who sent the guys to beat him up.
Yeah. And he thought Pac was involved. That's why Sandy sent the guys to beat Pac up. Yeah. Is he thought he was involved in the whole switch. And then he found out later because Tong was like, why did you do that? He had no idea. He was like, I didn't know. He was like, I thought you guys worked together. And so then when Pac sprints across campus to punch him in the face, he's like, yeah, I deserve this. Like, he fully tells him, like, I deserve for you to hit me in the face. Like, I did something wrong. Yeah. And that just shows how much of like a justice is black or white kind of guy, is that he's like, yeah, I did something wrong. Like, you should punch me in the face. Like, you should physically hurt me for my wrongdoings. Right. And so like, it's almost, and he also goes to the extent of like, I'm going to get justice at the expense of like myself and my own, like, he even says like once they're in the whole play situation that like Pi is the only one that treats him as like he has no friends anymore. Yeah. Right. Like all of this stuff. And like, but he's okay with that because he's done it all for like the greater good, for like the justice of it all, which again is like unhinged. Yes. But he's just going through something, because it's in these moments that then you can see he fully accepts that like, okay, he accepts, he's like, yeah, I like Pi. He's like, I like Pi, and he accepts it, and he like listens to Pi, and he sees the way that Pi treats him. And he has these conversations with Pi about Pac and Tong and about like his actions and about everything. And I think that for him, having that like softness of Pi, of being like, you did wrong, but it's okay that you did wrong, I think that like really colors and changes his worldview of this like black and white. Yeah. I think that Pi brings in shades of gray, which is something he's never experienced before. And he's like, all of a sudden has this new view about like how things can be and happen. And then he goes around and he's so well-rounded, and because truly he fixes like, everything that he did wrong.
Tanateep is the only actor that could bring such like softness and like
he goes genuinely so hard like, to so soft.
Yeah, like I feel like Bank Tanateep acting this character, because you see it in The Moment I Need You and The Moment Since, right? Where like The Moment I Need You, he's like this like really aggressive guy who's like gotten his heart broken.
He's kind of like a Karen about life.
Yeah, like he's very rough around the edges. And then like you see this softness in him. He's that guy that you're like, I know there's more to you than this awful thing. Like, then this weird personality trait that's like aggressive and that's very like very one track mind. Whereas like when you look at a Pac, you're like, no, that's who you are.
That's just who Pac is.
Whereas with Sandy, you're like, there's something more to it, right? Like
something's going on.
Like
he's just going
through something. Whereas with Pac, you're like, no, that's just who he is. He's not going through anything. He is the thing. Yeah. And so I think with Sandy, this character with Bang Tanateep being able to bring out this like, there's an underlying thing there that you know is there, that you're like, I know there's more. There's a reason why. And you see this in people in general where you're like, there's a reason why you're meddling in my business. There's a reason why you're so focused on me, because not people who are so focused on other people have so many more issues in their life where they're like, you're doing wrong. There's something wrong with you. You need to fix you. And you're like, I know that. So then why are you so focused on that? Because clearly you're avoiding something in your own life.
Yeah.
And that's what Baked Hannah Teep is able to do with Sandy, where you're like, there's more to him.
And it's very well rounded and well acted. And what's nice about this character is it's so subtle and soft and slow, which is, I think, very true to real life.
Yeah.
Like, people do not change overnight. And like, he's actually the one that like ultimately fixes Pak and Tong and like gets them back together, even though they should not be together. Because
Truly.
And he goes and like he eats crow, which is like actually a courageous act, right? Like, he walks up to Pak and he's like, can I eat lunch with you? Like, can I talk to you? Like, can we try and be friends again? And he's like, he tries to help him and he genuinely is like, I'm sorry about this, right? And so like, he is very very much like redeems himself, and I think he has the most character development out of anyone in this series. And Bank does it so subtly, and like, he's one of those actors, very similarly to Bonus and Sia, that like his eyes change. So like, you see it at the play when he goes and sits down next to Pai. Like, you see his eyes change when he looks at him, like just his eyes. Nothing else on his face changes. His body language doesn't change. And like, you just like, you feel this instant change when his eyes change. And Bonus does the same thing. It's similar to like, that's why you can tell when there's a give or take, when it's a give and take versus just a take.
Yeah.
Is that like, Bonus communicates all of that through his eyes, which like I think is a mark of just like a genuinely talented person, because I don't think that's something you can learn or you can teach. I think that truly like Bonus is one of the most talented, most inspiring people that's ever lived probably on this planet. And that sounds dramatic, but like, truly,
that's the alcohol talking.
No. Like, I said this the other day when I was stone cold sober, actually, that I think Bonus is a really inspiring person. And like, I think he's so talented. And I also think that Baked Hannah Teep is so talented because of like, if you can convey an emotion through your eyes, like your irises, right? Like,
how they bring these characters to life is
because
incredible.
You know who else does that? Sia. And that's one of the things that makes You Are My Sky, Junmai Katong Fa, so deep, is the way that he portrays Torn. Right?
So good.
And so like, it's the same thing with Sandy. And Sandy, I think like by the end has had the most character development out of anyone in Gen Y. Truly. I think he's the star of this show.
Sandy is wonderful by the end. The other characters that are wonderful, Jet Jame.
Oh,
truly Jack Co.
Ooh, I love that you go Jack Co, because that's a whole argument in the show. Is it Jack Co or Kojak?
Yeah. Kojak is fun too, because
I'm gonna say Jack Co because I stand Jet.
Yes. Truly, I love the show My Matchmate, and I have screamed about this episode, and I will scream about it again, because these boys have such incredible chemistry. And when I first watched Gen Y season 2, they were the light that like kept me going. They, in this huge ensemble of all these couples, they are the couple that you're like a breath of fresh air. There's no drama. It's silly, this like back and forth cat and mouse, where they're almost like Mark Kitt from season 1. They're the Mark Kitt in season 2.
Except like make them bisexual kings.
Yes.
10 out of 10.
They're just like fun, silly, like there's no real drama. They're like fighting over YU, but
then they're also fighting over Nong Alice.
Yeah, and then they're fighting over
Nong
each
Alice,
other.
by the way, is super into tongue, which like I never thought I would understand, but like I kind of get it. Like,
after watching Superboy, I get it.
Is Tongue kind of hot?
No.
I think he might be.
He has a great personality.
No, like Tongue is really talented though.
Yeah, he is super talented. He can sing really well. Go watch
and
Superboy.
He can dance really well. Although that hair on him as a demon was like not it.
No. So yeah, Jet Jame is really fun. That ending scene where Mark Kitt have like stumbled upon Jet Jame while
I love that scene.
They're like walking each other to class, and like there's this funny moment of like, call me, and then Jame like suddenly like blows him a kiss, and
no, it's the other way. Jame goes, call me, and
They're so cute.
It's so cute. And then what I love about that scene is that Mark and Kit kind of like mimic them afterwards because it's this like
it's a full circle moment.
If you've been in a relationship for a long time and then you see this new couple and you're like, I remember those days, right? Like you like joke about it. It's really cute. The only thing that like low key annoys me about Jackco in this is that like we have our time jump and it's 3 years later and we're still pretending we're not dating.
I know.
Why are we still doing this? Why are we still doing this, boys? It's
another Kim Cup. In
this case, it hasn't been just one semester. It's legitimately been 3 years.
Oh God. Gen Y.
But then they have one of the best kisses in BL, which I haven't even watched my matchmate, but like I have Twitter, so I've seen this kiss.
Yeah.
And like
the bed kiss.
I remember watching this happen and thinking like as a soft stan being like this is exactly the level of spice that I need and want. Like it's not so spicy, sweet. It's soft, but it's spicy. Like it's perfect.
It's just like Neo Louis in the Eclipse.
It's perfect. Yes, it's exactly what you want and need.
Okay. It's time, y'all.
It's not time. We haven't talked about
No. It's time for your CAD rant. Okay. I will be putting down my mic because you're going to go on your CAD rant.
Okay.
If you don't even remember this character, valid, because there's 100 characters in the show.
If you don't remember this character, how dare you? Although I will say neither did I until I realized that CAD is the only one for me.
Until your CAD awakening.
Yeah.
The friends do play a vital role in the show.
Yes, especially Sansab. Okay, let's talk about Sansab. Oh, Sansab. Okay, so when we interviewed Element, we asked Sab. we did ask Sab, actually. We asked Gad about like the characters that he's played because he plays a lot of friends, right? So like in What Zab Man, he is the egg god.
Out of control.
And although, you know, truly a life regret of mine is that we didn't ask him if he could actually make an omelet. Well, we should have. Unanswered questions. Dad, come back on the podcast. And we asked him which of his roles was his favorite role, and he said Sansab. And at the time, he said it was because Sansab had like two very distinct sides to him. That like he was fun and he was funny and he played the jokes, but he also could be serious. Yeah. And I was like, I don't remember that about this character, but like you do, you boo. Like I like at the time I was like, yeah, okay, guys.
I don't remember him at all in season 1 because they're high schoolers and they appear like for a hot minute.
Right, they're the high school babies in season 1. But like, yeah, like at the time I was like, okay, God. But then, and again, disclaimer: this is not colored by the fact that Kat is the only one for me. This is like a legitimate observation, is that Sansab actually, I think, grounds the whole show because he's funny and he's silly and he's light and he lightens the mood in so many cases because, again, we've talked about how dramatic and just like ridiculous this show is. And much like Jet Jam, where like they bring the light and the fun and the like nostalgia of like this is what a BL should be back. That's what Sansab does, is he's fun and he's funny and he's sweet and you can't help but smile when he's like doing whatever ridiculous Sansab thing he's doing. Right. And so like there's that part, but then one of my favorite things about him is that you get to see him be this very supportive Nong, which like I thought he was Baz's brother, but apparently he's his cousin. I don't know. Like the translations make it very confusing. It's unclear, but like he's his Nong. He's his blood Nong. That's what we know. It's like they're blood related.
Yeah.
They're somehow blood related.
In Thai, it's unclear.
Yeah. So they're somehow blood related. He's his blood Nong, and he's such a good Nong because he is the only person in this show that doesn't try to force Wyu to feel one way or the other. He very gently supports him and he checks on him and he like suggests to him and he tells him like what he thinks, but he never frames it in such a way as like you should do this or this is the right thing or the wrong thing to do. He very much, he's the only person in this whole show that trusts Wyu to make a decision for himself.
Right.
Like, people take autonomy away from YU in this show, and Sab gives it back to him.
Yeah.
Right? Sab is like, I'm going to support you and I'm going to be there for you in whatever way you need. And I'm going to gently tell you what I think. Like, this is what I think, and this is who I think you should be with. And this is like what I believe is the right thing for you, like, as your friend, family member, whatever. But he never is forceful about it. He's
Right.
like, I want you to get there on your own. And like, that is such a good quality to have. And then he also, like, you see him be this great friend.
Right.
In that, like, when the whole thing with Sandy goes down and everybody realizes that, like, Sandy is the problem here, Sab never burns that bridge. So Sab is like, okay, he talks to Tong, he figures out what's gone on, because for Sab, he's in this interesting position where, like, Sandy is his friend and Tong is his friend and Puck is his friend, right? Like, he's not actually involved in any of the scenarios going on. And so
he's a fun friend.
And he's this, like, great friend where he's like, okay, you guys, here's what's happening.
He's
like,
literally the only person in the show that has zero love interest with anyone.
Except for me.
You're not in the show.
I mean, in real life. But it's just one-sided. It's me. Yeah. So he tells everyone what's going on, and he makes it really clear, and he makes it super transparent. Mm-hmm. The only person in the show that's actually transparent, the only person in the show that will flat out say what's going on, the only person with communication skills in the whole show. And then what's even better about Sansab is that when he does finally confront Sandy, he doesn't call him out in front of other people. He doesn't make it this big scene. And then he doesn't even accuse him of anything. He gets him alone. So this is when, like, Sandy is, like, faking the stomach ache so that he can, like, lure YU to the hospital so that YU sees that, like, Peepaw is dying.
Classic.
And yeah, you know, like, just boy things.
Your ex-BF is about to die so you can be with Danu.
Just guy things.
Oh my god. The show is insane.
What he does is he's like, hey, let's split up. Let's go in separate cars. I'll take Sandy. You guys go in this other car. We'll meet at the hospital. He isolates Sandy. And then what he says to him is, he's like, what's going on, man? He's like, hey, I know that this is fake. And I know that you've been doing all this stuff. What I want to know is why. Right. He's like, I need you to tell me what's happening. He doesn't even accuse him. He's just like, I want to know what's going on with you.
Yeah.
Which is, like, the perfect way to talk to someone. Like, he doesn't get angry or accusatory.
Because he already knows what he's doing. He's just like, why are you doing it?
He's like, why are you doing this? Like, we're friends. Like, I'm not trying to not be your friend. I'm trying to understand you.
Right.
He is the only person in this whole show that is a constant, that is supportive of everyone around him, and that is just always a light in the room. The only person in this whole show. And it is expertly acted because he can do both, and it makes sense when he does both, right? It doesn't feel weird when he's like, hey, I know that you're, like, lying about this, or when he's like, to YU, when he's like, hey, you should really reconsider this. It doesn't feel weird that he's being serious, which, like, sometimes can happen if you get a character actor, which, like, God is very much a character, or he's been cast type as a character actor. I don't know if he is or isn't. And so sometimes those character actors, when they get those more serious situations, it doesn't feel right? It doesn't feel legit, but it does with Gad in Gen Y. And, like, but at the same time, like, him being absolutely ridiculous also feels right.
Yeah.
And so, like, Sansab is actually essential to this show to, like, keep everyone connected.
Right.
Quite frankly.
Star Hunter, give God a leading role in 2023.
Yes. I will say, fascinatingly, if you've been, like, keeping up with the casting news, Bang Tanatip and God casted together for something recently. And I was like, I never thought about that, but, like,
sounds fun.
Like,
anything to get these boys on my screen, honestly.
Truly.
I would love to see it.
Yeah.
There's so many options. 2023, man. we're at the end of 2022. I can't even imagine what's coming for 2023. We still have to finish out 2022, and it's October, and so many things are coming down the pipeline.
Big Dragon. I really want to know who Kat is in Big Dragon. Kat, who are you in Big Dragon? I've been trying to
Big
figure
is going to be in Big Dragon.
Big is in Big Dragon.
Jet Jamer going to be
Jet Jamer in Big Dragon.
So
and 2 new Star Hunter babies are in Big Dragon.
JJ and
Bovern.
I just know his IG is Bovern.
Me too.
I'm excited for Big Dragon. I'm excited for Remember Me.
Yes, Remember Me. Oh
Ghost Host Ghost House. If you haven't started it, please start it. It's so good. There's so many shows.
October's a wild month, y'all.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my god.
Stay tuned. There's so much more Let's Talk BL. Truly. We might venture away from the tie and actually do some other series this series.
I mean, if you've seen the schedule, you know it's already happening. I did post it to Instagram, so
yeah, we don't post our series Sundays.
True, but I did admit earlier that I try and group things together. So
don't go get your merch because if you already missed out.
Merch will be coming back though. Don't worry. The difference is prices will be a little bit higher. There will be no exclusives. It's just because when we can buy in bulk, we get it at a better price. And so we of course pass that discount on to everybody who's buying it. Those shipments are gonna start
shout out
ASAP as soon as the merch is in our home.
Shout out to Chris and Portia, the most perfect brand ambassadors for Let's Talk BL. They did the thing.
And they are a case study in brand deals work because thank you also all to everybody who purchased merch. We sold more than we ever could have dreamed or imagined. I almost cried the first few days because I genuinely just
you did the thing.
It happened, and
you love Let's Talk BL, and we love Let's Talk BL.
Truly, it was a brand deal that worked, and I feel like we'll probably be doing more brand deals with more boys anytime we can because it worked. And so this is a case study in support your boys brand deals because it works.
Who will be the merch ambassadors for season 3?
Oh my god, send us a DM and tell us who you think the season 4
brand ambassadors
should be.
LTBL brand ambassadors.
Yes. In fact, if you've made it this long, you also deserve to be on our close friends because
oh my gosh, yes.
This was such a fun episode to talk about. We clearly very much love these actors. And I think these actors are very underrated. I really do. I think that they deserve so much more recognition for their work.
They deserve so much more tiki-taka love.
Tiki-taka love, truly. And so I feel like we should post all of these. Did we tell this story this time around? This is
no, we have not told the story. So if you have made it, oh my god, an hour and 42 minutes.
We did it again.
How did we do?
I love this for us.
Oh
I
my
feel
god.
So I need to go in and time how long that God rant was.
Truly. Okay, if you've made it, I feel
no one's gonna make it this long.
No, but if you have made it this long and you're not on Close Friends, shout out to you. But if you are not on Close Friends, you should just DM us that
Bonus is an Earth Angel.
I thought it was Tanateep as an angel.
No, it was Bonus. Always Bonus.
Bonus is an angel. We are gonna Close Friends story our selfies that we got with individual boys.
We were gonna tell
Element.
the selfie stories. That's right.
Okay, here's the thing. We told the Copter selfie story at the beginning.
Yes.
Which we've already posted multiple times.
Yeah.
But each of us somehow in all the chaos, because there was a lot of chaos at Hunter Village after our Element interview, Bonus was looking in the mirror, getting ready for the next interview because there was an interview after us. And my brain started working again for a moment after encountering Bonus. And I was like, can I get a selfie with you? And it was the cutest thing because here's the trick. Here is the trick for anybody who ever encounters a BL boy.
Oh, make them take the selfie.
Make them take the selfie.
Yeah.
If they don't have a brand deal with a cell phone, make them take the selfie.
Right.
Or if you have the cell phone that they have a brand deal with, get them to take a selfie.
I will say of all our time in Thailand, there were only 2 boys that had cell phone brand deals that couldn't take the selfie.
Yes.
And in both those cases, we were in situations where it worked
fine.
out. Yeah.
But truly, because my hands shake really really hard when I'm nervous. And so there's no way on God's green earth that I was ever going to be able to take these selfies. And so I like got it in my like brain to be able to take a selfie with Bonus, and it was the most magical thing I ever encountered. And they take 100 photos because like boys.
Well, also because like here's the thing, like they understand camera angles. They literally do this professionally.
Yes.
So the trick will hundo and they're so willing to do it. Literally, you hand them your cell phone and they're like, yeah, I got this.
It's magic. So I got a selfie with Bonus. Ayla got a selfie with Tanateep.
I did, and he was the sweetest about it. And I like kind of grabbed him as he was leaving because I like wasn't sure because like fully in these situations. So I did the same thing at our press junket where I was like, okay, I need in these situations for it to not be obvious that like I'm asking for a selfie with this specific boy.
Yeah.
Not that I think any of them would have been like, why didn't you want a picture with me? But like, you know, like
they don't care.
You just don't want it to be like weird. And so I finally worked up the courage right as he was leaving, which again, there was no courage to be worked up because like he is the sweetest angel that ever existed. And I was like, oh, can I grab a selfie with you real quick? And I like handed him my phone, and it was like the cutest thing that ever happened to me. It truly like he's the nicest.
They're wonderful.
Tanateep's the nicest.
If you go to Thailand and you run into a BL boy, chances are if you say, hey, can I get a selfie with you? They're going to be very nice and generous.
Yeah, they really will be. And honestly, chances are if you're chilling in MBK, like not to like bring a bunch of fans down on them, but
you know where
cool.
Hunter Village is.
Like be cool. And if you just sort of like hang out, like they usually will have like tables and chairs set up, like it's like a thing.
It's wild.
You can just like straight chill there.
Stay tuned to season 3 of Let's Talk BL because there's so much more. I'm sure we'll get drunk another series Sunday and tell you even more inside info into the wild world.
Inside info is hang out outside companies. Love that.
Truly. Live at MBK like we did.
I still want to be buried at MBK.
Our home. I'm going to be that crazy girl that when I'm 80 years old, because I'm assuming you're passing away first, that I'm gonna be like sprinkling your ashes around MBK.
Why? You're older than me. Why am I dying first?
I don't know. I just want to sprinkle your ashes at MBK.
You're older than me. Why am I dying first?
This has been Let's Talk BL. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow all things Let's Talk BL at Let's Talk BL.